Media.
Hey, it's Monday, here we go. It's the Call Me Tony Show.
Hey guys, today is Monday, April 21st. My name is Tony. This is my podcast, and welcome to it. There are a lot of phrases we hear all the time. You know the kind I mean. Just accept what is. Let go of the past. Everything happens for a reason. They get repeated so often that after a while we stop questioning whether they even make sense. But I've started to push back against them because, in my experience, some of these well meaning phrases don't bring clarity or healing. They bring confusion, they bring silence, and sometimes they bring the exact opposite of what someone actually needs. Today, I want to talk about the danger of these catchphrases, why they're not always helpful, and what maybe we can say instead. Let's start with accept what is. It sounds peaceful, right? Like surrendering to a higher wisdom or making peace with reality. But when you say that to someone who's in the middle of a fight that they should be having, someone pushing back against abuse, inequality, or oppression, what are you really asking of them? You might be telling them to stop resisting something they should resist. Think about a woman trying to escape an abusive relationship, or an employee speaking up against racism at work, or a person fighting for healthcare in a system that keeps failing them. Telling those people to accept what is isn't wisdom, it's discouragement. Some things are not meant to be accepted. Some things are meant to be changed, even if change is slow or incomplete or comes at a cost. The trick isn't to accept everything, it's to recognize what's outside your control while still honoring what you can do. There's a huge difference between surrender and surrendering yourself. Let go of the past. That one always gets to me. Not because I don't understand the intention behind it, but because I think it misunderstands how memory works, how healing works, how we work. You can't just decide to let go of something that shaped you. You can't unlive your life. You can't forget abuse or betrayal or trauma just because someone else is uncomfortable with how long it's taking you to move on. Everything we know, everything we believe, everything we fear or long for or struggle with is tied to what we've lived through. Telling someone to let go of the past is like telling them to tear out the structural components of their house while they're still living in it. What's more honest is learning how to carry the past differently, to understand it, to face it, to process it, and over time, to let it stop driving every reaction. But that takes work, real work, and a lot more patience than people usually want to offer. Then there's everything happens for a reason. I've heard this one in hospital rooms. I've heard it at funerals, after breakups, during political chaos, and every time it leaves me a little colder because not everything does happen for a reason. Not one that's fair or loving or part of some divine lesson plan. Sometimes things happen because people are careless or selfish or cruel. Sometimes things happen because systems are broken or nature is indifferent or your luck just run out. I know this phrase is often meant to comfort, but it can also dismiss pain. It can imply that if you're hurting, it's just part of some cosmic design, that your suffering is justified because it's teaching you something. And if you don't learn from it, well, that's on you. I'm sorry, that's not comforting. That's fucking gaslighting. Same with forgive and forget. Forgiveness is complicated. Forgetting is impossible. And asking someone to do both can sound like asking them to pretend that harm never happened, especially when the person who caused that harm hasn't changed. So, what do we say? Instead of accept what is, maybe you get to decide where to put your energy. Some things need your fight, some things need your release. I support you either way. Instead of let go of the past, maybe the past shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. You're allowed to take your time figuring that out. Instead of everything happens for a reason, maybe something simple like, I'm sorry this happened. You didn't deserve it. I'm here with you. We don't need shortcuts. We need honesty and empathy and sometimes space. Not every phrase that sounds wise is actually helpful, and not every piece of advice wrapped in poetic language deserves to be followed. We live in a world where people are trying to hold themselves together with duct tape and hope. They don't need one-liners, they need real support. They need space to feel what they need, to wrestle with it, to speak about it without being corrected. So I'm done parroting phrases that make pain look prettier than it is. I'm trying to be someone who listens before I speak. I'm trying to sit with people where they are instead of rushing them to where I think they should be. Because the truth is, healing isn't catchy, but it's real. And real is always better than easy.